Credit roll is an element that can be added to a standard Aavelin page in the professional edition of Aavelin Composer. This object can scroll the contents of a text file up through the page area, kind of like movie credits. Unlike with text objects, you don't type directly into the credit roll object. Instead, what we're going to do is link it to a text file, and the contents of that text file will be read and scroll up through the object. You can use Notepad, which comes standard with Windows, to create the text files, or you can save a Microsoft Word document as plain text. Both are going to generate the right type of file. When you click on the credit roll button, the object dialog opens up immediately, and the first thing you have to do is select the text file that's going to be read before you can change anything else. So let's click on the Browse button and locate such a file. And then we're going to click on the OK button first of all and resize this and position it to our liking according to the conventions that we're already used to. The text that shows up in here is actually from the contents of the file that we selected as well. We can double click on this object and bring the properties sheet back up. Now with credit roll you have indirect control over the font size. Instead of selecting a font point size like you would in a word processing editor, instead we're going to select how many lines of visible text we want at a time. So as we increase this visible lines field, we'll notice that the text size behind the property sheet here decreases. Fields for the scrolling speed right here and also the horizontal indent are available. This is essentially a margin control. The credit roll object can also have its own background independent from the page background. The options though are similar to what you would get for an entire page. There's also an extra option of transparent if you don't want any background specific to the object and you just want to see the page background behind. The outline and shadow fields right here, these are for the entire object as a whole, so the rectangular bounding box around the text, not the text itself. For those options, we have the font tab here, where we can control the outline and shadow specifically for the text. Notice that the size control is disabled here. Instead, we're using the visible lines field back on the credit roll tab of this dialog.